So you plug in your phone every night to charge. What if cars were that easy? Let's go on an overkill deep dive on electric cars. I can already see the comments. This is just an excuse for you to show off your car. This is my Chevy Bolt EUV. I've had it for just over a year. It's my first fully electric car, and it's shown me that EVs are a lot easier to live with than a lot of people think. Let's start with the obvious. You never have to go to a gas station anymore. But much more importantly, you don't actually have to replace that old routine with anything similar. Charging doesn't happen at a place you have to go to, it just happens while your car's sitting there. DC fast charging stations are only really used when you're on a road trip and need to recharge rapidly. They're also priced extremely high compared to home charging, sometimes approaching 4 to 5 times what you pay to charge at home. My charger is plugged into a standard 120 volt outlet, the same kind that you probably have all over your house. No special wiring, no calling an electrician to do it, just plug it in like it's any other appliance. Ideally, you'll want to have your car charger be the only thing on that circuit if possible. However, most EVs let you set the charging rate to draw less amperage if you can't dedicate a whole circuit to just your car, as I've done here. I live in an apartment that has a first floor window. I realize that not everybody has that kind of situation, but here's how mine's routed. It's got a 3D printed channel where the cable goes right through the window out to my car. It's a little bit weird, but it's worked great for over a year. The maintenance guy at our apartment even helped me install this rack to hold the cable when I asked if I could put one up. Alright, so that's enough about providing an electric car with electricity. What's it like to actually own one? The first thing you'll definitely notice is how much more quiet they are. The only noise you really hear on the highway is the sound of the wind and the tires, mixed with the very quiet electric noise of the motor converting that electricity very efficiently into movement. Another thing is the amount of torque they have. Even an affordable EV like the Bolt has enough torque to spin the tires if you're not used to it. Another thing is how they handle slowing down. Instead of turning all that speed into heat that's wasted, it turns it back into electricity and puts it right back into the battery pack through regenerative braking. Regenerative braking also affords EVs with another neat party trick: one-pedal driving mode. One-pedal driving mode is pretty much a universal feature in modern EVs. When you lift off the accelerator, the car slows down much more aggressively, like you're lightly pressing the brake pedal, but you're actually not. It's not a replacement for normal brake pads, which it absolutely still has and you should still use when necessary. But on a road you're familiar with, you can generally learn to time it just right to not have to use your brake pedal to stop at an intersection. Electric vehicles are also much less expensive to drive than a comparable gas car. This is where things kind of get crazy. My car will go about 3.7 miles on 1 kilowatt hour of electricity. The electric rate where I live is about 14 cents per kilowatt hour. Therefore, my car costs me about 3.8 cents per mile to drive. Let's compare that to an equivalent-sized gas car from the same model year, the 2022 Hyundai Kona. The Kona gets 32 miles per gallon combined for city and highway driving. The average price of gas in the US at the time of this writing is $4.09 per gallon. To give it a boost here, I'm even gonna go and be generous and call it $3 per gallon like it was back in December in some places. Therefore, the Hyundai Kona costs about 9.4 cents per mile to drive. So even when you give an equivalent gas car non-inflated gas prices, an EV still costs less than half what a gas car costs to drive. And that's not even including the extra things on top of that. EVs cost so much less in maintenance. Even in the first year of ownership, I've noticed the difference. There's no oil changes, ever. There's no muffler, and there's no catalytic converter to be stolen. The bottom of most EVs is kind of boring since there's nothing going on down there. Because of that, your yearly inspection costs half of what a gas car does because it's just a safety inspection. In North Carolina, it's $30 for a safety and emissions check, and it's $13.70 for an EV safety check. Less moving parts also means there's less things that can go wrong. There's no valves, no pistons, no belts. Pretty much the only things that move are the motor, the tires, the air conditioning fan, and you in your electric car. Overall, it's not a huge dramatic change from driving a gas car, it's just a bunch of small things that just work better. And once those become normal to you, you really don't want to give them up. This is Curiosity Overkill, because sometimes you just gotta go overkill. If you're into this kind of stuff, like tech and cars and going way deeper than necessary, you'll probably like it here. Go ahead and hit subscribe.